Hey Taurus, this is Michael with your June 2022 reading. I do hope that this finds you well and in good spirits. I apologize so much that this is coming out late. I did post in the community tab on my YouTube page, but I realize not everyone sees those posts. I have just had such a hard time getting all of these readings out to you. I actually recorded several times trying to get the intro right, trying to align with the energy, and by the time I was able to finish the recordings, I actually found out later that they had no audio. And that is just such a Mercury retrograde thing to happen. That's what we were dealing with last month. Mercury actually went direct today, which is very nice on June 3rd, and we have Saturn going retrograde tomorrow. So there's definitely a lot shifting here this month. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about with the retrogrades, a retrograde is when a planet appears to be moving backwards in the sky, and this can cause some disruption or kind of inward focus with this planet, kind of depending on which planet we're talking about here. And with Mercury, it's really been affecting our plans and communication and our mind, and kind of just causing a whole bunch of distress in our daily lives. And I know for a lot of people, this Mercury retrograde was a really hard one. And actually connecting with your energy, Taurus, I'm really feeling like there's this energy of burnout. And that kind of makes sense to me, and I feel like there's actually something that is changing here if you've been feeling really exhausted or just really depleted, like you've been putting all this energy into something and it just hasn't been, giving back to you in some way, or it's just been taking from you. We'll talk about more of that in a moment. I just want to thank all of you who have supported this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes, and appreciate any form of engagement you feel called to give to this channel. It does help me continue putting out these messages and doing this incredible work. I also have a Patreon as well where I offer live streams, and I have the astrology notes for each of these videos. So if you are interested in learning more about the astrology, definitely consider checking me out on Patreon as well. And all of my links are in the description box down below if you're looking for a reading or a Reiki healing session with me. Anyways, Taurus, the first card that I had for you was the Fool in reverse, and I kind of clarified that with the Four of Swords in reverse. And that's really interesting to me because it feels like maybe you've just maybe you've just felt stuck, or you've had a hard time moving forward with something, or you haven't been willing to take a leap of faith. With the Four of Swords in reverse, I feel like it's almost like you're coming out of this energy of being at rest, or trying to recharge, or maybe you've just been so unable to move forward. It's like some things needed to change. You've needed to make some big leap of faith, or just a big change of direction here. I kind of feel like some of you have lost hope or lost faith in something. And the energy this past month was definitely very exhausting. And Mercury was actually retrograde in your sign. So you may have very well felt exhausted or depleted or really scattered. And when Mercury is in your sign, it can slow down. It's very fast-paced energy. And I know for myself, as a Virgo, I'm ruled by Mercury. And I know when Mercury went into your sign after it had originally been retrograde or started moving backwards in Gemini, it really felt quite draining. And so maybe you felt the effects of that energy drain, and you felt it very personally. And it could just be affecting your overall sense of self or optimism or outlook in your life. But Mercury has gone direct. And another thing that's happened is Saturn is going retrograde on the 4th of June. And Saturn's actually going to be retrograde until October 22nd. Now, when Saturn goes retrograde, it's actually a little less about chaos, kind of like the Mercury retrograde. And it's more about discipline and focus, and specifically prioritizing the things that really matter. And Saturn moves slower, so wherever it is, it's going to be there for a couple of years. And there's been a lot of focus on your career and your life purpose and role in the world at large. So that can actually have quite a few implications for you. And the way I kind of thought of the energy this week and what I've kind of just noticed so far is it feels like with Mercury going direct, we're kind of having the rude awakening of all the things that happened over the past month in May, kind of blowing up in our face. There's clarity, there are truths. We're kind of like catching up, so to speak, for a good portion of this month. And with Saturn going retrograde, as well as the full moon on the 14th activating Saturn, there really is this energy that feels like people are just at a breaking point, or there's just this thing that happens where it's like, enough is enough, I can't do this anymore. I need to focus on what really matters to me. And so even though Saturn retrograde is actually about reducing this sort of pressure, and it's actually lifting some pressure, the way it's manifesting this month, kind of with the astrology and with the energy we are in, it feels like it's actually almost like a breaking point. So it could feel quite dramatic this month. And I see the Page of Cups here with the Emperor, and it literally feels like prostrating yourself to another force or another person. And it's like you're literally like laying down on the ground. I visually saw that for you. And trying to give praise to this thing or this person who's just taking from you. It actually does feel like a work situation, or I would expect there is something about work or career here, or maybe school if you're getting a degree. But the Page of Cups feels very depleted in this reverse position, and it feels like I see this going two ways. It's like you're giving yourself a lot over to these people or this person, or this person or group is not giving you anything in return with the Page of Cups. And I get this energy, especially with the Six of Cups in reverse here, Taurus. It's like, I've given you so much of this energy and so much of this time, and you're not giving me anything. You can't even give me this one little bit of recognition. You can't give me this one thing. And that's almost like, it seems like it could be something that feels kind of small, but it's just like one more thing on top of all the other things that just makes you feel unappreciated or undervalued. And I feel like for the Taurus I'm connecting with, this feels like something you've dedicated quite a bit of time or energy to, whether this is a relationship or a career. And it's almost like when you put so much time or energy into something, whether that's a person or a goal, it can be very hard to walk away from it because it's like, well, I've already put so much time. Maybe if I just put a little more in, maybe if I work just a little bit harder. But I feel like you've been pretty stuck here with this Eight of Swords as kind of a clarifying energy. And you've kind of kept yourself stuck, maybe. Because even though this person is in the situation that they can't really just easily get out of, in some way there are these solutions that are around you. You have these swords to cut yourself free, even if you don't necessarily see them, or even if you choose not to see them. And when I see the Emperor, it really felt like you were bowing down to something, or you were submitting to something. And I don't feel like you can do that any longer. And there's a lot that's happening this month. We have Venus, your ruling planet, forming a conjunction with Uranus in your sign. And it's really this radical self-love. And if you've felt stuck, this is definitely a month that can help you get unstuck, because Uranus is this great awakener. It is this kind of wild card of a planet. It just causes sudden and unexpected changes or insights or revelations. And there's just this dramatic need for change. And there actually is a blessing here coming your way with the Ace of Pentacles. There is a new beginning here for you that is available to you if you need it. And it feels like with this full moon in Sagittarius, it's just the end of a difficult cycle overall. Because Sagittarius represents your 8th house. And this is the house of transformation. There can be pain associated with this process. And full moons represents a culmination or completion of a cycle. And maybe, to be honest, there is like one more dagger around this full moon. But with this full moon forming a sextile or 60-degree aspect to Saturn in Aquarius, again, this whole month is about focusing on your purpose, focusing on your long-term goals, focusing on career, and potentially easing those hardships. So if you're watching this early on in June and things are feeling really challenging or really, really hard, or something's going on, it may resolve around this full moon, or something is helping you resolve it around the full moon. And on the 16th, you have Venus, your ruling planet, again, forming a conjunction, this time with the North Node in your sign. And there really is this longing to reach for something, to reach for a higher potential, or something that feels very purposeful for you. And I think that's where this Ace of Pentacles is coming in. And it's no longer about you submitting yourself or serving someone else. I actually feel like a lot of you are focusing on something for you that serves you, or serves your purpose. Tell me more about this Ace of Pentacles here. We have the Chariot. Taking charge, moving forward, things happening very quickly. So things can change very, very swiftly for you this month. And that makes perfect sense with North Node and Uranus being activated by your ruling planet in your sign. It's actually making things kind of unstable for the collective right now. Economically, that's why things are being really shaken up, because we've been in these systems that aren't really working for us. They're not working for the whole of humanity. They're working for a select few. And so there are these big changes that are happening. And the system is kind of buckling. And you may be really feeling that as a Taurus. But I see the Chariot here as you taking control, or you moving forward in some way. And it's almost like whatever you've been afraid of doing, whatever you felt like you couldn't do with the Fool in reverse, I feel like you are moving forward, and in a much more composed way. Tell me about the Six of Cups in reverse. I'm curious about it. And I actually want to clarify. I feel like this is both clarifying the Emperor and the Six of Cups. We have the King of Swords. This could represent air sign energy, specifically Aquarius, as well as Gemini or Libra. And this could actually specifically be Capricorn cusp Aquarius energy. Maybe that's who this Emperor is, this kind of controlling figure. And if this person or this situation isn't really any of those signs, it's almost like the Emperor is just being very logical. And with the King of Swords, it almost feels like a chess game and you're a chess piece. And there's kind of this cold, removed energy, and maybe that's how you have to move through this situation as well. You can't take things personally. And we have the Queen of Swords. So again, air sign energy. This time specifically Libra or Virgo cusp energy. Yeah, a king and a queen. It's like it kind of feels like you are reflecting the energy back that you are being given in this situation. And you're no longer trying to please someone else or other people. It's about you standing in your own sovereignty. And honestly, it feels like you're going off and doing something for yourself. There's a new beginning here. And the Six of Swords in reverse, it's hard to move forward. Let's clarify that. Why is the Six of Swords in reverse here? It's like you can't move forward and you can't move backward with the Six of Cups and Six of Swords in reverse. Yeah, it's the devil. You feel stuck in a situation. Maybe there's a contract. Maybe there are factors that are promoting this belief or quite literally binding you to a situation. I really am getting very strong, like, Capricorn Aquarius energy, and the Saturn card, or Saturn energy, is the devil here. Tell me more. The King of Pentacles. This is your energy, Taurus. Why is the King of Pentacles here? Stepping into your own foundation or abundance, stepping into your own energy. No. The Hanged Man. If you feel stuck, it's almost like you need to pause. And sometimes that doesn't make sense. It's like, no, I need to get out of here. I need to figure out what I'm doing here. When I think of the Hanged Man, I think of the story behind this card. Odin hung himself upside down in order to learn to read the runes. He needed to see things from a different perspective in order to learn to divine or see things clearly. And so when we have the Hanged Man energy, we might feel stuck in a situation, or we might be hanging ourselves in a situation. And we need to see things from a different perspective before we can move forward. And it's interesting that this is also Pisces energy. We have Neptune going retrograde in Pisces at the end of this month as well. There's a lot this summer, or this kind of quarter, if you will, about slowing down. And focusing on what we need to focus on. And with Pisces energy, for you, that is your 11th house? Yes, your 11th house, your house of friendship, of social support and ideals. And maybe you do need to connect or gain support in other ways. You might be seeing relationships very clearly. Who's supporting me? Who isn't supporting me? But the 11th house, Pisces energy for you, actually does represent just the way the universe supports us. And very often that's through a person that our paths line up with, that can be a helpful acquaintance or contact or networking opportunity. But it's the 11th house. It's the only master number in the houses. So it is this very spiritual place. And I feel like some of you are tapping back into this intuition, to this spiritual connection. Reconnecting with your own purpose. And figuring out what may be a distraction for you, actually. And I think that's something that's going to be really loud for you until December 3rd. That's when Pisces, or Neptune, is going to be retrograde in Pisces. Are the people around you inspiring you, or are they keeping you stuck in an energy? Is everyone else just kind of stuck around you? maybe you do need to take some time for yourself, or you need to really connect to your own energy. I feel like whatever it is you're about to change or move towards, other people are watching, and you're going to kind of be a leader in some way. And we also have the new moon in Cancer. And this is affecting your immediate environment. This is also affecting siblings. So if maybe some of those people who are watching you are siblings. But there's a lot of new ideas that are coming to you. There are a lot of insights you are being made aware of. And there's a lot that's coming up in your subconscious this month as well. There's a lot of Aries activation. We have Mars and Chiron coming together in Aries, which is your 12th house, your subconscious, the dream world of the Hanged Man. And Jupiter is being activated, or there's conflict with this new moon and Jupiter in Aries. And the emotions can be very heightened. And maybe that's why you're like, nah, I'm done. I'm going off. I'm doing my own thing. And spiritually, you know your soul wants you to do something different. Your soul is really guiding you to make changes in your life this month and to really prioritize. It's not a matter of trying to earn your freedom or buy your freedom or work very hard so you can get the opportunity. No, you need to take the opportunity. You need to take the chance. And I think a lot of you are going to be doing that with the Ace of Pentacles and the Chariot card here. And interestingly, this Ace of Pentacles with the Chariot in the future, towards the end of June and into July, the new moon is in Cancer, and the Chariot represents Cancer energy. There is literally a new beginning for you, a new foundation that you are building at the end of this month. And for some of you, this could be involving writing. This could be involving communication or teaching in some way. Something where you are speaking and you're speaking on some sort of platform. And I do feel like there are people watching you. There are people who are watching and waiting. Whatever it is that you do or say, people are kind of hanging on your word right now. Or that's an energy that you are stepping into. That's an energy potential. And so there is something about speaking or broadcasting or being on social media or teaching or writing, any sort of communication, your words can be very, very powerful. And I would actually suggest that you write out your manifestations, being in your 3rd house, this Cancer new moon. It's a very, very powerful new moon. It's probably the most powerful one this year in terms of manifestation and working with these energies. I'm going to pull one more card for you. What are we at on time? Okay. What is the animal wisdom for Taurus? Buffalo. This feels so much like your energy. There's not a bull or an ox in this deck, but this feels like the closest to your energy. And I'm looking at this buffalo. I'm seeing these lightning bolts in the background, this sort of divine message, this divine insight, this sudden realization, this sudden flash. And the buffalo is all about trusting and having faith in the universe and faith in this higher calling or this higher purpose. And even though there's this storm in the background, there's this dramatic thing that is happening, this dramatic energy, this dramatic pulse, the buffalo keeps looking forward. There's this unwavering sense of peace. And that's what your energy felt like to me. It was very grounded, while at the same time very, very spiritual. And you are making strides towards these things that are spiritually aligned with you. You are taking action towards them. And if you're having a hard time doing that, this is the energy that is coming in as advice or energy that you should be embodying for the month of June. So connect with buffalo energy and maybe even meditate on this energy and figure out what it means for you specifically. But I feel like with buffalo, it's very grounded, spiritual, very centered. and very unwavering at the same time. And I don't feel like you're coming at a situation trying to change it anymore, trying to placate to it anymore. You are very much accepting that you can't change certain situations. You can only change things that you are doing or initiating or thinking. And it's literally the message, grabbing the bull by the horns. That's what I'm getting for you this month, Taurus. And I think that's everything. I hope this was helpful for you. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. You are welcome to check out some of the other videos in the June 2022 playlist, maybe for your moon or rising sign especially. Rising is the most specific when the astrology is concerned. And all of my links are in the description box down below if you feel like you need a reading or Reiki session with me. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Taurus, and have a happy and safe June.